In this video, we are assuming that you already know what a prime number is. As a quick recap, prime numbers have exactly two factors. The first few prime numbers, which you should be well aware of, are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, and there are infinitely many prime numbers. They go on forever, but you should definitely be familiar with those first few. In this video, we are recapping prime factor decomposition. That is a way of breaking down a number, like 1008, into a product of prime numbers. We're going to use this prime factor decomposition to help us work out how many factors the number 1008 has, and we'll practice that with a different number, with 128 as well. So, to write 1008 as a product of prime numbers, what I want to do is split this into a pair of factors. Any pair of factors we like, it doesn't matter, as long as it's not 1 and 1008. So in this case, I can see it's an even number. That means I know that 2 goes into 1008, and in fact, it's 2 times 504. So I'm going to start with the 1008 and split it as follows. 2 times 504. Now, every time I get a prime number, I'm going to circle it. If I have a number that isn't a prime number, I need to split it again. Now, 504 is an even number, so I know that 2 will go into that as well. So I'm going to split that into 2 times 252, and I will circle the 2 because that is a prime number. Now, 252, I can divide that by 2 again, and that would be 2 times 126. I'm circling the 2 because that's a prime number. Now 126 I can split up. That is 2 times 63. I'm going to write that as 63 times 2 just because I'm running out of space on the right hand side. So I will circle the 2 there. The 63 is not prime because I can see that it's 3 times 21 or 7 times 9. So I need to split that up. It doesn't matter whether I use 7 times 9 or 3 times 21. I will go for 7 times 9 in this case. Now 7 is prime, so I'll circle that. 9 is not prime, but I can split the 9 up into 3 times 3. 3 is a prime number, so I need to circle both of those. So to write 1008 as a product of prime numbers, I simply need to multiply all of these prime numbers together, all of those numbers that I've just circled. So 1008 equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 7. Now, you don't have to write them in this order, but it's often easiest to write them in order of size. So you'll notice I wrote down all the 2's first, then the 3's, and then the 7 last. I can write this a little bit more simply by using indices. What I've actually got here is 2 to the power of 4 times 3 to the power of 2 times 7. Now in part B, we have to find how many factors 1008 has. Notice it's not asking how many prime factors does 1008 have, it's asking for all of the factors. Now, if we did this the way that we saw in an earlier video, it would take us a very long time. I would have to start by listing them all out, like 1 and 1008. I'd have 2 and 504. I would have 3 and 336. And there would be loads of factors to list out, and it would take us a very long time. So we don't want to use that method. I'm going to get rid of all of that and show you a different way. We're going to start by using this prime factor decomposition, ideally written in this format here with the indices. What I'm going to do is write it again, but where anything is to the power of 1, I'm just going to write that really clearly as being to the power of 1. So in this case, we have 7 to the power of 1. To find the total number of factors that 1008 has, what we need to do is take all of the indices, which I will highlight like this. Then we need to add 1 to each of those indices. So 4 plus 1 gives me 5, 2 plus 1 gives me 3, 1 plus 1 gives me 2. And I then multiply those together. 5 times 3 times 2 gives me 30. So this is telling me that 1008 has 30 factors altogether. I haven't explained why that's the case in this video. This is just showing you the method to answer this type of question. The last question is very similar. What you have to do first is decompose 128 into a product of prime numbers, and you will find that 128 is actually 2 to the power of 7. To find how many factors 128 has, therefore, we need to look at the indices. In this case, I've only got a 7. Then what I need to do is add 1 to that number. 7 plus 1 is 8. And that's it. 128 has 8 factors. Notice the difference between this and the previous example. I have no other indices in my prime factor decomposition. I've only got this 7. So when I add 1 to that, I get 8, and that's all I can do here. In the previous example, I had 2 to the power of 4, 3 to the power of 2, and 7 to the power of 1. When I've got more than one of those indices, I need to take them all, add 1 to each of them, and then multiply those together to give me the total number of factors that the original number has.